All right. So it's not because they are reluctant on passing the bill itself.
Senator, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to ask you to mute your mic.
Okay.
Please. Thank you very much, man.
All right. So it's not because because we know that to pass an electoral bill or any kind of bill in the House of Assembly, there's a process. It goes through the hearing, the harmonizing, and everything. But Nigeria is in a very critical condition where there is a big trust gap between the both the officials, both the NAS, the House of Rep, and all that. There's a big gap of trust in between, because if we look at what happened during the tax bill, because what the House passed and what the gazetted and what we also got, there were like two gazetted. So there's still lots of trust gap, and then on before this whole thing started, the Senate President himself coming to mentioning transfer and transmission. So, and then these two languages, which if we make reference to the previous to our 2023 election.
Okay, Brown, please take your question straight up. Sorry.
Okay, so I just want to be able to, so I can come down to my question. All right. So, and then if we look at what happened in the 2023 election, where we had issues of opposition and this present administration going back and forth in court about the language of transfer and transmission, and then the Senate president coming to say that some of these new acts has been omitted to transfer and all that, and looking at the history behind this transfer thing in court, where they were now like, okay, if things are transferred into, it can be transferred from the where people vote, the voting and to the coalition unit. So there were there was a confusion of English.
Mr. Brown, have you got a direct question for the senator, please?
Okay. So my question is,
let me turn on my mic. Okay. Sorry, that is why when we were writing the reforms, we were very deliberate about language, because of the fact that we had so many issues before. This time we were specific. We said INEC shall. The other 2022 left INEC with a leeway as to they shall transfer it, but it also gave them the option of any other way they so preferred, or that was convenient. This one, when we were in the committee, we argued very, very vehemently about it, all of us, and it was almost unanimous in both committees that we use the word shall and say electronically transferred. So at the end of the day, there should have been any confusion about it. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Senator. That's clear.
60.
We can hear you. Thank you so much, Senator, for clarifying that area.
I can't hear anything.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, Senator. I think, Matilda, you're the one, Senator, can hear us.
Senator, we're here. We can hear you.
Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you is that we were not ambivalent about it. We were very, very specific. We said the presiding officer shall electronically transmit the results from each polling unit to the IREF portal in real time, and that such transmission should be done after the prescribed Form EC8A has been signed and stamped by the presiding officer, and all other countersigned by the candidates or the agents of the candidates. So we wasn't ambivalent, because we wanted them to, we didn't want the same problem that we had in the 2022 Electoral Act.
Okay. Thank you so much, Senator. Thank you, Matilda.
Yes, Brown, was that an answer for you? Thank you so much for
Yes,
your question.
that's an answer to that, but then
Okay.
there are still other questions. That's just one of, I mean, Nigeria and the patriotic Nigeria,
You know what, Brown?
and I want a country that works
I'm,
for all.
I'm happy to hear.
Let's do it this way, right? Because of time.
I don't shy away from answering any questions because I always try to tell the truth, no matter what. And this is exactly how things have happened to my knowledge.
Then, sorry.
And we were not even when we were even leaving, we were not thinking that the electronic transmission was even in question. I was more upset about them even reducing the number of ways people can do primaries. The other ones where the transmission wasn't even in question.
All right, thank you so much again for your time, everyone. Quinn, I see your hands up. Can we please have a direct question?
Okay. Good evening. Good evening. My senator. Good evening, host, co-hosts, and every other person on the stage.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am. It's good to have you
Good
here.
evening.
And it's actually a privilege to speak
Thank
with you
you.
once again because I've spoken with you once on Dr. Mo's space before. So it's an honor for me to speak with you again. So a quick one. When are we expected to hear back? Like when are we expected to hear maybe like the third reading or the third person, the bill? When are we going to hear from, the House of the Assembly as to when the third bill would be passed so that we could all put all the false rumors to bed and
I did not hear the question.
Ooh.
It keeps cutting in and out.
Ma'am, she's
Oh
asking
my.
for a time
Can you hear
frame
me?
for the third reading. A time frame as to when this would happen.
We've done the third reading, but it cannot be a full bill until the conference committee, from both houses, sit down and they harmonize the bill. But where we, the senators, are a little bit concerned, after all our proceedings in the Senate, whether it is we are in executive session, whether we're in whatever session we're in, we must come back to plenary. And then through the votes and proceedings, which will usually be brought to us the next day, the Senate President reads it and asks us if it's a true reflection of what we agreed on the day before. Now, this time, whenever we're going on recess, they give us like a short adjournment for maybe an hour or so while they prepare the votes and proceedings. They bring it back to us to approve before we go away. This time, the votes and proceedings haven't been brought to the Senate. And if the votes and proceedings of anything is not approved by the Senate, then it is incorrect. I don't know what the conference committee from our side will be deliberating on, because the Senate hasn't given its final, we agree that what you have sent or what you have said happened is what really happened. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that makes it difficult for me to give you a timeline, because we are insisting that we must see the votes and proceedings. That's what authenticates anything we tell you happened, must be in the votes and proceedings. But as of now, we definitely have not approved the votes and proceedings for that day where we finally concluded on the third reading.
Okay,
we did
ma'am.
conclude,
Thank you so much.
but we were not giving that. We always do that. Whatever I come and say happened, they bring a votes and proceedings that will say, they usually the next day, but not when we are going on recess, saying Senator Kingibe said this happened, and then they would ask everybody after reading the whole thing. all the things we said happened yesterday, is that a true reflection? He actually says that, and everybody will say yes or no. So I can't really give you a timeline because I'm just as confused as the other senators.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
That's why I'm saying that you, the people, can still hold us accountable. There's still the final bill. It's not like it's cast in stone yet. You can still influence it.
Thank you so much, Senator, for
Thank
clarifying.
you. Shola, this is pretty interesting, and of course, we appreciate this platform once again, and to everybody who's here. I see a question from Abiola. I'm going to take about 2 more questions very quickly. We have barely 10 minutes or less to move on, as we do know the senator is a busy woman. Abiola, please, a really short and direct question. Thank you.
I can't hear the question.
Okay, Abiola,
But
are you
if
there?
you can hear me, I am still insisting, hold your representatives accountable. It's more effective than going to the National Assembly to occupy it when there's nobody there.
Thank you so much. Queen, I see you, and we appreciate your comment. Is there anybody else with a question, very quickly?
Can somebody please repeat Quinn's comment? I didn't hear it.
Oh, it's a thumbs up, ma'am. She give a thumbs up. All right, Vivian, I see you. Thank you so much. Can we have your question, Vivian? Shola, could you accept Vivian's question, please?
Okay, trying to see her from my hand, but I can't. So, well, I think the senator has really given us really cleared the hair when it comes to the situation of things, right? What I will urge everybody to do is to please.
Good afternoon, Senator.
Okay.
I guess my question is,
Good
there's a lot
afternoon.
of, I joined late, so there's a lot of confusion. Did the Senate actually refuse the, what's it called? Excuse me right here. Transmission of the election results, or what's the confusion, I guess? Because it's almost like you're saying that that hasn't been passed, but we're being told that the Senate did not approve this. So I guess, where do we stand with this right now?
That's why we did the press conference.
I'm so sorry.
Because when
I
we left the
joined
Senate
late.
and heard in the public space that we had rejected electronic transmission, which is not true. And if you listen to the Senate President's conclusion at the end of our plenary, he said we had not rejected electronic transmission. Now, we have documents that we worked with. So that was why the next day, some of us senators, we'd had a meeting that same night to say, you know, what's this? We're confused. We're not doing this. This is not what happened. So we now had that press conference to say that is not a true reflection of what happened in the Senate. Did you hear me?
So I guess it's more of misinformation. Is that how you? Hi, I can hear you.
So that is where there's that otherwise there'll be no issue. We in the Senate believe, just like in the House, that we passed electronic transmission. We're hearing that the Senate did not pass electronic transmission. Now, when the conference committee sits down to harmonize, if you all have put enough pressure on I take that back. If you have held your representatives accountable, then the final bill will say electronic transmission, because that's really what happened. Why there's any confusion at all, I don't understand.
Thank you so much, Ma. Is it possible for us to access that? Should I call it a bill so we can also read and see what it contains?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know if the senator actually heard that, but the press release up there, the details of the bill, all
I
right?
didn't.
There's three
I
of them
didn't.
included. Yeah, Senator,
Didn't hear that,
she was
but I
asking
heard you. But I
if it's
heard
possible
you.
to see the bill. Is it possible? Is it something that
You mean, is it
since the bill
possible
is
for you
still
to
under?
see what we passed,
Yeah,
what we worked with, our
yeah,
working documents to show that that's what it said, and there was no place where we changed it?
yeah, that was what she
Is
asked.
that what you're asking?
Yes,
I'm
Senator.
asking
That
for
was
the bill itself so that we can see everything that's
Hello?
contained.
Hello?
We do apologize for the network service. Of course, we do know how Nigeria works.
Yes, we do.
I'm not too sure that so we have time for one more
You
question.
know, this is so
Can we-
frustrating. I
can we
have
make it
3,
one or
4
two?
different internets in this house just so I should be able to talk to you seamlessly, but it's
Please
not
let her
happening.
go out. Let her go and come back. Her
These-
network isn't giving up. Let her go and come back.
These
Let who go and come
these are
back.
the
I can
issues.
hear her.
Ma'am, we're
I can
gonna
hear you
ask
now.
Great. We're going to be able to take about 2 more questions, if this is okay. I see Pharmacy would have Pharmacy, and she
Okay, I can hear you now.
I would. Okay, great. So Pharmacy, can we have your question, please?
Yeah, good evening, Senator ELECTORAL KINGIBE.
Good evening.
Yeah, we saw it on channels when they said the Senate has rejected the electoral mandatory transmission of results, and later we saw senators coming out to say that that is not what happened and all that. And I can liken it to how the tax bill came up, and the tax
What?
bill, the tax bill, because what we saw was that the senators are saying that what they passed in the tax bill is not what the president gazetted. And right now, to me, that is a breach of the Senate rules for the executive to pass a bill that was not gazetted by the senators. And I've never seen any senators rise to say they want to impeach the president for such gross misconduct. And right
They
now,
said they wanted to do what?
I've not seen any senator coming to say they want to impeach the president for gross misconduct in respect of the tax bill. And now we are having this electoral bill. So why do you want we Nigerians to trust the senators that what Channel said yesterday is actually not correct?
Let me also tell you. You see, we pass laws. So if you go behind our back and change the law that we passed, to be very honest with you, it's only a few days ago. We have only been in, we came back from recess how long? On the 27th? Then in the few days, we're trying to do budget, we're trying to do this. They just, a few days ago, gave us all the tax bills to see the discrepancies. It is only after that that we would then be able to impeach anybody if it's impeachable. The truth is that you have to trust some of us. You have to evaluate us individually. If we were all going to just keep quiet, some people will not shout, no, no, no. Everybody who was there knows that that's not what we agreed on. But some of us decided to put it to the public that that's not what happened. Now, because we have started making a fuss, remember that this bill is going to be harmonized. Chances are quite high that when it is harmonized, it will be the correct thing the senators passed. And senators cannot do much of anything unless they're in plenary. Immediately after this happened, we were put on recess. Do you understand what I'm saying? Hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing you. What I'm talking,
Even if we wanted to do anything, we have to have plenary to do it. Even if we all want to shout and say, that's why we came to and did a press conference. If we had plenary the next day, we wouldn't come to you. We'd go to the floor of the Senate and say, no, no, no. That's not what happened. And remember, they're still going to bring a votes and proceedings to the Senate, which hasn't been done, to say, is this a true reflection of what we did? Am I making sense to you? So sometimes you think that we can do and undo. So it's so frustrating when a lot of the people in the majority, even when they agree with us, they do not make a lot of fuss. It's opposition senators that can make a lot of fuss because they're opposition. Even during this process, we had, all those of us in opposition had to really fight for us to speak. For me, it did not matter much because I was part of the committee that produced the bill in the first place.
Thank you so much again, everyone, for being here. We're going to go with Chidility. Am I correct?
Yeah,
All right,
thank you. Yeah, good evening, Senator. Thanks for coming here today. I honestly appreciate you. I just want to go straight to the questions. One of the reasons 2023 I was in Abuja. One of the reasons we elected a lot of LP senators and House of Reps members was because the result was transmitted from the polling unit, and I can testify this because I was there. I just want to ask you. There was a committee that passed the bill first before coming to the main house. If it's possible, you have the document with you here, or if it's not here, you let us know. I would like to know exact words used on the e-transmission of result. Exact words passed by you committees before coming to the floor. Because what I'm saying is that I understand Nigerian laws very well. There's difference between shall and may. It's very important because you asked us to go back to our House of Reps. I want to know what to discuss with them, right? Whether it's real time from the polling unit or transmission, just like that. Because when you say transmission just like that, it has to go to the collation center, they will transmit. And this is what we don't want. We want it to come from the polling units. So I wish to know exact works that was used on that line. Any other thing I'm not interested, but this particular one is what I'm interested on. If you have it, please let us know. And what other stage are we expecting from now on? Thank you.
Oh, sorry, I've read it to you before. The presiding officer, please look at the 2022 one and you will see the difference between that and this one. The other one says they should transfer and gives INEC the option of doing otherwise if they so please. This one says the presiding officer shall electronically transmit the results from each polling unit to the IREF portal in real time. That's what we was in the original document. Have I answered your question?
Exactly, you have answered. So we should be expecting transmission real time from the polling unit, and that is what we should be demanding from our representatives, right?
Exactly. You see, that is what is on the bill, and that is what. Believe me, we had an executive session and it was across party lines. It wasn't just opposition senators that we were not even allowed to speak that much, to be truthful. All the APC ones were all shouting electronic transmission, and that is the truth. It would be unfair to say it was just us. Practically, most of the senators opted for this method of transmission. So the same way, you others APC senators are held accountable by the constitution, so you hold me accountable also. So we should also wait while you are insisting to your representative that this is what it must be. We should see what happens next and see what the conference committee comes up with. Remember, it's just not only the Senate, there's the House. They were unequivocal about it being electronic transmission. So the two houses are going to sit down and come up with one bill. And I believe that the fact that we put this in the public space, that the final one would be electronic transmission. Whether the president signs a bill or not is not up to us. Do you understand what I've said? So
I do
we're not, the senators, believe it or not, we are trying to do what is right for our people. We were trying, that's the reason it came out this way. And to show you how insistent we have been, we have changed from this, the second committee chairman was there trying to explain that this thing was extensive. And based on that, I think we will get the correct one. It could have been an error, because when I was even drawing attention to the leadership that this is what we said, though, I hope he said, yes, that's what we all said, electronic transmission. So I'm not sure where the errors come from. I'm not sure how it came about in the news that we rejected it. Truly, I cannot tell you, as most senators cannot tell you. But we came out to hear that that's what we did. It wasn't.
Thank you very much, distinguished, for your answer. I hope that definitely solved your, question. We would only have time for one final question, please. The senator has to go on ahead and handle other matters. Shola, I'm going to have you pick the final question, and then we'll hear a few more words from the senator, and then of course we'll have to say appreciations to everyone. Shola.
Thank you so much, Matilda. Thank you so much, Senator, for the past few years that I've known you. You've been a woman of confidence. You've stood your ground. You don't do eye service, or you do what is best for the people at all time, and you don't do showmanship. You do your work. You don't announce. You just go ahead and do whatever is best for your people at all time. We appreciate you for all you do. That's from me to you, Senator. So I would go with Dr. Bell.
Thank you. I appreciate those. Thank you. Thank you.
So I'll go to Dr. Bello. Dr. Bello, let's have your question so that we can. The Senator, the time is fast spent, please.
Thank you very much, Shola, for the opportunity. Thank you, co-host. Thank you, Senator, for being here as well. I listened to Senator Ume yesterday, and I also listened to the press release that you were involved in, Senator. And what we can all gather from what he said and what you was said in the press briefing was that everything happened on the floor of the Senate. I understand you said you don't know where the error is coming from, but from what Senator Ume said, it was the bill was being passed. Without going into details, I know you don't have time, but the bill was being passed, and then in the front, someone somewhere made a call that he wants to make a change, make an amendment to what was proposed, and then it was supported, and then the gavel went, and then it was passed. That's what Senator Ume said. And by virtue of that, we can agree to that because already the Senate has constituted a conference committee, and by constituting a conference committee, what it's saying is that the Senate have already passed a bill that needs to be harmonized with the House of Representatives. So my question is, Senator, would you agree with me that the senators were caught off guard because they weren't paying attention to what was happening on the plenary, on the floor of the Senate, and that is why there was a lacuna, there was an opportunity to quickly make an amendment. Someone seconded, and then it was passed. The gavel went. That's my question. And secondly, from what we are understanding is that the person that made that suggestion for amendment was Senator Mongonu. And Senator Mongonu, correct me if I'm wrong, please. And Senator Mongonu is listed among the harmonizing committee, those that are going to go to harmonize with the House of Reps. Are you confident that this conference committee will do the right job, would serve the interest of the Senate, which you're part of, if that's the person that betrayed the Senate? And also, last question, do you honestly believe that the Senate president is above impeachment, given the antecedents of things that we've seen in the 10th Senate? Like, from your own personal position, do you think that person is above impeachment? And why are you being subservient to all of these things that we are seeing happening in the 10th Senate?
To start off with, we can start with your last question. I have never been subservient. If you ask anybody, I'm one of the most vocal senators in the Senate. If I'm not allowed to speak on the floor of the Senate, I speak everywhere else. That's number one. Number two, nobody's unimpeachable. Thirdly, if you ever look at a copy of this bill, electronic transmission is section 60. So it goes without saying that we had long passed it. The time you're talking about at the end, we had long passed it. In fact, there was a bit of ruckus we had finished. We had gone to the end of the bill. We'd agreed to everything that was done. At the end, there was a bit of ruckus because some of us were fussing that the primaries should have been left the way the two committees had said and stuff like that. So if that happened between them, we certainly didn't say yes or no, because Senator Mongunu says something and Fabio knocks the gavel. The whole Senate, we were already standing and making a lot of noise. So there's no way we expected that what we were done. If you look at a bill, this particular bill, you go to the end, even nomenclature, everything else, we were gone to the end, or else we were standing up, getting ready to go. Then when they were constituting the conference committee, that's probably when all this happened. They did not put the electoral chairman, the committee, the electoral matters, the chairman was not included. The chairman of the ad hoc committee was not included. And so as soon as Senator Ndume drew our attention, we started to yell. Maybe that's when that happened, because I don't know. When we were done, and Akpabio started to say something, that we did not reject electronic transmission because we said it should be transferred. That's when the whole place went crazy. That's not true. And to say that, look, have you noticed how many? There are 109 senators. Maybe there are probably 30 opposition senators left. So you are still back to what I'm telling you. The solution lies with you and us. You put me here. The same way every constituent put their senator there. There have been times when things have come up that all the senators put their foot down. Why did we? Because our constituents put their foot down. And if you don't see that that is the only way that this country is going to move forward, is when the people start holding their representatives accountable. Like everything else in life, if there's no accountability, then everybody will do whatever they want. That's the truth. And I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, Ma, you echoed what I said. What was proposed wasn't what was not what was eventually passed, and there's no contention on that. On the issue of like what you said, we should go back and hold.
Pardon my interruption. You know, there are 5 people from the Senate, of which 3 from my are people who have what's the word? They have to be held accountable to the original documents they brought. If you look at the House, they're like double or triple the number of people that we are. That is what the committee is. Do you understand? So you still back to what I'm telling you, that the final document that is brought out is not necessarily going to be what the Senate said, because what the leadership of the Senate is claiming that the Senate said, because we can't call it a final thing. There's no votes and proceedings on it. After the votes and proceedings are passed, that's when you say that is what happened. As long as there's no votes and proceedings on it, you can't say that's what happened. But they and us are going to look at, and that committee is going to bring out one document. There's still a lot of chances that that document will be what you want. Because
thank you
the
very
other
much, ma'am.
people brought that document, that what the House brought out is a document you want. So please hear me. I've spoken to you, and you should understand that the people cannot just grumble and say, oh, you didn't do, okay, let us say I'm your wife. You every day you beat me. And when you finish beating me, I'll come and hug and kiss you. What will stop you from beating me the next day? It's only if I insist that you cannot beat me. So please, I think that I, just like you, want free and fair elections. A free and fair election is what produced me. So, and there are also many senators who feel that they have the popularity of their constituents, and they also want free and fair elections. Hold your representative accountable, period.
Thank you very much, Ma, for the clarification. It's not another question. I just want to thank you
We
because you just
would have to just really say thank you at this point.
Yes,
really
I understand. I just want to
please,
say
Matilda, just give him the 1 minute to just say what he wants to say.
Thank you very much, Senator. Thank you. I really appreciate it. The clarification is that regardless of whatever happened, something somewhere happened. What was passed was not what you intended, and you want there's still one legislative step left, like you mentioned.
Exactly.
What I want to say, Ma, is I think, in as much as you say we should go back to our representatives, I think the ball is still in your court to hold the leadership accountable, to make sure that what the Senate wanted, what was proposed, is what will come out eventually, and that is what will go to the conference committee. I think you still have that responsibility.
I would like you to clarify whose court. I keep telling you, as things stand now, the Senate is on recess. Whose court? You said the ball is in our court. In whose court?
If what
Senator
you propose
Kingibe's
is not
court?
what was passed, there's still an accountability to hold the leadership on how come what you all agreed on is not what was passed. What happened?
And how do we
like
hold the leadership accountable during
when
recess?
They bring the votes, they were like, when you come back from recess, that's what I'm saying. I don't know, man. I'm not the legislator. But what I'm saying is there's a missing step. There's a missing step that, so before it comes back to the people to hold our people accountable, you, the senators, need to hold the leadership accountable on how you went through all this process, and then at the last minute, either Senator Mongono and the SP and whoever changed the order, and then you are left with all these seats that's coming from us.
Should I ask you something? Do you really believe by the time we go back, do you want a fait accompli? It's like saying that during third term, when President Obasanjo was trying to get the third term, and the people were telling their legislators and their representatives, no, don't agree. You are sort of implying that they should have waited after third term was passed as a law, then they should say, no, we don't agree. Then they go back to
what I
the
said, Ma, was
legislator and
me.
say,
If
no,
it
we
was
don't
me,
like it.
I don't even see why the plenary ended without clarification. But I will leave the legislature, the legislative to you, and I just made my point. Thank you very much, host and everyone, and thank you, Senator, for the opportunity to ask the question.
And I would like to think that I've also made my points.
Yes, you have. The bottom line is you guys were caught off guard, and you now have to go and clarify what happened and how can it be rectified.
Let me tell you, shall I say something? Good governance is synergy between the governed and the people governing. It has to be. That is what I have observed to be a major lacuna and a problem in the country. And on that note, I say thank you all very much for having me on this platform.
Thank you very much, ma'am. On behalf of the distinguished senator that is representing, of course, the Federal Capital Territory, Senator IRETI KINGIBE, we appreciate everyone who was able to sign on, tune in, ask questions. Thank you for all your wishes, prayers, all your comments. We see everything. They're not gone unnoticed. Shola, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining the space. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Senator.